Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
The atmosphere at General Hospital had shifted. A sense of unease lingered like a storm cloud over Portia's life. She had always been a woman of strength, a beacon of hope even in the darkest of times, but nothing could have prepared her for the shattering news that now threatened to crumble the world she had carefully built. It began with a simple decision, one that seemed responsible, rational, even inevitable. Portia, determined to protect herself and the child growing inside her, opted for a fetal DNA test. She knew that knowledge would empower her, that knowing the truth could prevent future heartbreak. But as she clutched the envelope, the same envelope that would determine her destiny, fear coiled around her chest like a vice. "I have to know," she whispered, her voice trembling yet resolute. Even as doubt gnawed at her, she knew this moment demanded courage. The hospital corridor, usually bustling with doctors and patients, seemed unnaturally quiet, almost as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. When the results finally arrived, Portia's hands shook violently. The room spun. Her heart pounded like a war drum in her chest. And then she saw it. The name. The father. The man she had once trusted, the one she thought she knew, his identity struck her like a lightning bolt. Terror gripped her. It wasn't just shock, it was a deep, primal fear, one that made her question everything she thought she understood about love, trust, and betrayal. Anger followed swiftly, sharp and blinding. How could he? How could anyone be so reckless, so thoughtless? Portia's mind raced. Threats, not just whispered but burning in the silence, flared within her. She could already hear herself confronting him, words so fierce they could cut glass, words that would demand accountability for every lie, every deceit. But Portia was not powerless. Even as fear threatened to consume her, a flame of resolve ignited. This child, her baby, would not inherit the chaos of others' misdeeds. She would fight, not just for herself, but for the innocent life growing inside her. Encouraging words, almost like a mantra, began to echo in her mind. "You are stronger than this. You are not alone. You can survive this. You will protect your child." Outside, the world remained oblivious. Friends and family, unaware of the storm raging in Portia's heart, went about their lives, laughing, talking, and living. Yet within her, a silent war had begun. The DNA test had not just revealed a truth, it had sparked a reckoning. Portia's confrontation with the father would not be gentle. It would not be patient. It would demand answers, demand respect, and demand justice. Every threat she whispered to herself in the mirror, every fiery thought that rose in the depth of her mind, was preparation for the battle to come. And come it would. This was only the beginning. The baptism of her child, once a moment of joy and celebration, now carried with it an undercurrent of tension. Would she be able to forgive? Could she navigate this treacherous path without losing herself? Every heartbeat reminded her of the stakes, every kick, every flutter, a reminder that she was not alone. As Portia stood in the quiet of her apartment, holding the DNA results close, she made a silent vow, no matter what darkness awaited, no matter the lies and the threats, she would emerge stronger. She would face the storm, confront betrayal, and protect her child with every fiber of her being. Drew threatened to arrest Michael for assault after he punched Sunny and tried to blackmail him into giving up his waterfront property. Sunny didn't adhere to Drew's demands, but Turner certainly saw another side to the congressman and vowed to nail him. Is Turner going to withdraw from the case? Getting back to Drew, Willow paid him a visit while she was on duty and told him about seeing the kids. Drew warned her that Michael had set a trap when she told the story and said that it would be a controlled environment. Willow felt that it was worth the risk she was taking. Still, Drew didn't seem convinced. Finally, Liz's house was visited by Portia. After small talk, she not only admitted she was pregnant, but she admitted she wasn't sure who the father was. Anna, who was holding a search warrant, interrupted the two. Liz tried to contact Rick Lansing as she searched the premises, but fans are aware that he is currently a little tied up. Anna requested Liz's attendance at the station after completing her search and holding a white cloth-wrapped gun-sized object. As Liz asked what she had in her hand, in horror, Anna then asked where Willow was, much to the shock of both Portia and Liz. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Willow will have some explaining to do to the police commissioner, come the Monday, October 13th episode, so it'll be interesting to see the nurse's face when Anna requests her presence at the PCPD, to book her for Drew's shooting. The leak and the likelihood, validating the whispers. For weeks, the rumor mills of Port Charles have been abuzz with speculation. Whispers of a surprise pregnancy have filtered through the nurses' station at General Hospital, the tables at Kelly's, and the corporate halls of Aurora Media. The smart money was on Jocelyn Jacks, given her recent tumultuous history with Dex Heller. Others, observing the pallor and stress of Willow Tate, wondered if a miracle child could be on the horizon for her and Michael. But according to a highly reliable source with a proven track record, the truth is far more complex and dramatically potent. The leak points definitively to Dr. Portia Robinson. This aligns not with a story of young love or a healing union, but with a narrative of a fractured marriage, a desperate rebound, and a woman standing on the precipice of losing everything she holds dear. The recent official spoilers, which cryptically state that Portia receives life-changing news, are the final piece of the puzzle. The blurred figure in the promo holding the pregnancy test, the timing of her marital collapse, and her new romantic entanglement all coalesce into an undeniable truth: Portia is pregnant. And she has no idea who the father is. The calculus of conception, a timeline of betrayal. The core of the impending drama lies in a brutally tight, 5-day window that encapsulates the death of one relationship and the birth of another. The marital last stand, August 18th. The scene was one of desperate, passionate reconciliation. After a prolonged period of emotional and physical distance, fueled by Curtis's lingering connection to his ex-wife, Jordan Ashford, Portia and Curtis found themselves in a moment of raw, unfiltered need. It was not the careful, planned intimacy of a secure couple, but the frantic, almost angry coupling of two people trying to bridge a chasm with physicality. For Curtis, it was a reaffirmation of his vows. For Portia, it was a final, hopeful gamble that their love could conquer the ghost of Jordan. This single encounter, a last gasp of a dying marriage, now stands as a potential point of conception. The Declaration of Independence, August 28th. The gamble failed. The fragile truce shattered when Curtis provided an alibi for Dante Falconeri for the night of Drew Kane's shooting, which involved time spent with Jordan. For Portia, this was the final, incontrovertible proof. In her eyes, Curtis had chosen Jordan again. The marriage was over. Reeling, hurt, and feeling profoundly alone, she turned to the one person who offered her unwavering support and saw her not as half of a broken couple, but as a desirable woman, Dr. Isaiah Gannon. Their first time was not a calculated affair. It was a collision of two lonely people, Portia, seeking validation and an escape from her pain, and Isaiah, genuinely smitten with his brilliant, beautiful colleague. It was a balm for her wounded soul, a defiant act of moving on. It was also, potentially, the moment of conception. The consolidation, September 2nd. The pattern was set. On the tumultuous night Drew Kane was shot, Portia was once again with Isaiah. Their connection was deepening, moving from a rebound fling to something more substantial. Isaiah served as her alibi, a fact the PCPD has yet to fully explore, binding them together in a new secret. This second encounter further complicates the paternity puzzle, cementing the reality that her body now holds a secret that her mind cannot yet untangle. The biological verdict. The leak suggests Portia is confirmed to be 7 weeks pregnant. This places conception squarely within that fateful 5-day period between her night with Curtis, August 18th, and her first night with Isaiah, August 28th. Medically, this is a nightmare scenario. Sperm can live inside the female body for up to 5 days. An egg, once released, can be fertilized for about 24 hours. The overlap is terrifyingly precise. If she ovulated shortly after her encounter with Curtis, the child is his. If she ovulated closer to, or on the day of, her first encounter with Isaiah, he is the father. The second encounter, September 2nd, is less likely but not impossible to be the conception point given the 7-week timeline, but it remains a complicating factor in her emotional landscape. A DNA test is the only path to certainty. But in Port Charles, the path to the truth is never straight, and Portia Robinson has a documented history of obscuring paternity for what she believes are the right reasons. The fallout, scene-by-scene drama breakdown. The confirmation of her pregnancy and the subsequent unraveling of the truth will play out across the canvas of Port Charles, impacting nearly every major storyline. Spoiler scene breakdown number 1, the confirmation, a doctor's dread. Characters, Dr. Portia Robinson, Dr. Frida Navarro, OB/GYN. Location, General Hospital, exam room. The scene is cold, sterile, and unforgiving. Portia sits on the examination table, the crinkling paper beneath her sounding unnaturally loud in the silent room. She, a doctor used to delivering news, is now the patient awaiting a verdict. Dr. Navarro, entering with a chart, a warm but professional smile. Portia. Good to see you, though I wish it were under better circumstances. Your blood work is back. Portia, her voice tight, her hands clenched in her lap. Just give it to me straight, Frida. I'm a big girl. Dr. Navarro, nodding, her smile fading into a look of clinical empathy. Your HCG levels are definitive. You're pregnant. Based on the dating, I'd put you at about 7 weeks along. The world tilts on its axis. Portia feels the blood drain from her face. 7 weeks. The number echoes in her mind, a ticking time bomb. She doesn't see joy or a glowing future, she sees a calendar. August 18th, Curtis. August 28th, Isaiah. The 2 dates blaze in her mind, one representing a life she's just declared over, the other a new, uncertain path. Portia, whispering, more to herself than to Navarro, 7 weeks. Dr. Navarro, I know this might be a surprise, given everything you've been through with Curtis. But congratulations are still in order. A baby is a blessing. Portia offers a weak, ghastly imitation of a smile. A blessing? It feels like a curse, a divine punishment for her impulsiveness, for her anger, for her failure. As Dr. Navarro continues talking about prenatal vitamins and scheduling a sonogram, Portia is lost in a flashback, the heated passion with Curtis, a last-ditch effort to save their marriage, followed by the tender, consoling embrace of Isaiah, a promise of a new beginning. 2 men. 2 potential fathers. 1 unimaginable dilemma. Spoiler scene breakdown number 2, the confession, trauma dumping on Liz. Characters, Portia Robinson, Elizabeth Baldwin. Location. Elizabeth's house, living room. Later, shell-shocked and holding the physical proof, the positive pregnancy test, Portia finds herself on Elizabeth Baldwin's doorstep. Liz, a veteran of Port Charles chaos, is a safe harbor. The facade of the strong, capable doctor crumbles the moment Liz opens the door. Liz, Portia? What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Portia wordlessly holds up the plastic stick with its damning pink lines. Liz's eyes widen in understanding, then confusion. Liz, oh. Well, congratulations. But you don't look happy. Is it Curtis? Are you too? Portia, a bitter, hysterical laugh escapes her. Curtis? That's the million-dollar question, Liz. Is it Curtis? Or is it Isaiah? The floodgates open. In a torrent of tears and guilt, Portia spills the entire, sordid timeline. She confesses the last stand with her husband, the subsequent declaration that their marriage was over, and the immediate leap into Isaiah's arms. She lays bare her shame, her fear, and the terrifying mathematical reality that she has no earthly idea who fathered this child. Portia, I'm a doctor, Liz. I know the science. I know it could be either of them. What kind of woman does that make me? My marriage wasn't even cold in the ground and now I have to tell one of them that they're going to be a father, and the other. God, the other that I was pregnant with his child while sleeping with someone else. This is the heart of the trauma dump. It's not just the pregnancy, it's the brutal exposure of her own flawed, human behavior. She judged Curtis for his boundaries with Jordan, all while obliterating her own in a fit of pained passion. Elizabeth listens, a silent, non-judgmental witness, her own complicated history giving her a unique perspective on the messiness of life and love. Spoiler scene breakdown number 3, The Angry Threats, Curtis's Reckoning. Characters, Portia Robinson, Curtis Ashford. Location, the Aurora Media offices or their home. This scene is yet to come, but it is inevitable and will be one of the most explosive of the season. Portia must tell Curtis. When she does, his reaction will not be one of joy. Curtis, his face, initially shocked, hardens into a mask of cold fury. 7 weeks? You're telling me you're 7 weeks pregnant? Let me get my calendar. That was right after and then you were with him? Immediately after? The math is inescapable. The man who built his life on logic and investigation now faces the most personal of betrayals. Portia, Curtis, it wasn't like that. I thought we were over. You were with Jordan. Curtis, his voice drops to a dangerous, low whisper laced with angry threats. Don't you dare. Don't you dare try to turn this around on me. I was providing an alibi for a friend. You were in another man's bed, Portia. While you were my wife. And now you have the audacity to come to me with this ambiguity? You, who hid Trina's paternity from me for decades. You expect me to believe you don't know? Or is this just another one of your convenient lies? His words are daggers, each one honed by the past. The ghost of Marcus Taggart and the years he lost with Trina loom large in this moment. He cannot trust her. The angry threats may not be physical, but they are profound, the threat of divorce, of financial separation, of a bitter, public battle that will humiliate them both and devastate Trina. Curtis, if that child is mine, I will fight for every right I have as a father. But if it's not, you and I are done. Permanently. And you can explain to our daughter why her mother's actions have once again torn this family apart. Spoiler scene breakdown number 4, The Wild Card, Isaiah's Reaction. Characters, Portia Robinson, Dr. Isaiah Gannon. Location, a quiet corner of the hospital or his apartment. Isaiah's reaction is the great unknown. He is portrayed as a decent, straightforward man, untainted by Port Charles's perpetual drama. Scenario A, the supportive partner. Isaiah, taking her hands, his expression soft. Portia, this is big. It's scary. But we'll figure it out together. No matter what that test says. I'm here. I care about you. If this baby is mine, I'll be the best father I can be. If it's Curtis's, I'll support you through that, too. This reaction would solidify his role as the good guy, a stark contrast to Curtis's rage, and potentially push Portia firmly into his camp, regardless of biology. Scenario B, the reality check. Isaiah, stunned, taking a step back. Whoa. Okay. I need a minute. We've only been seeing each other for a few weeks, Portia. This is a lot. I have feelings for you, but a baby? A paternity mystery? I just got to Port Charles. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. This more realistic response would isolate Portia further, forcing her to face the consequences of her actions alone and highlighting the fragility of her new relationship. The web of complicating factors. Portia's pregnancy does not exist in a vacuum. It is tangled with several other high-stakes plots. The Drew Kane blackmail cloud. Until recently, Portia lived in terror of Drew exposing her for tampering with Heather Weber's paternity test. Unbeknownst to her, Trina and Kai Taylor have already stolen and destroyed the evidence. This unresolved anxiety adds a layer of desperation to her situation. The fear of losing her medical license and going to prison makes the stability of a co-parent, whether Curtis or Isaiah, a matter of survival, not just emotion. When she finally learns the blackmail threat is gone, her relief will be monumental, but it will do nothing to solve the paternity question. Jordan Ashford, waiting in the wings. Jordan has been clear about her desire to reconcile with Curtis. A pregnant Portia, especially one who may have conceived Curtis's child during a breakup she initiated, is a massive obstacle. However, if the baby is Isaiah's, it could be the final key that unlocks a Curtis-Jordan reunion. Jordan's integrity will be tested. Will she support Curtis through the pain, or will she see this as her moment to finally reclaim the man she never stopped loving? Trina Robinson's worldview shattered. Trina has been the rock for both her parents. To learn that her mother is not only pregnant but that the father could be her new boyfriend, just as her parents' divorce is finalized, will be a devastating blow. It will force her to see her mother not as a pillar of strength, but as a fallible, complicated woman capable of the same messy mistakes as anyone else. Her relationship with both Portia and Curtis will be strained to the breaking point. The master manipulator, could Portia lie again? Given her history with Trina's paternity, it is a terrifying and distinct possibility that Portia might consider manipulating the results. But in which direction? Lie and say it's Curtis's, to salvage the remnants of her marriage and provide a traditional family structure for the child, despite the likely resentment from Curtis. Lie and say it's Isaiah's, to secure a clean break from Curtis and fully commit to a new future with a man who may be more forgiving, freeing Curtis to be with Jordan. This internal moral struggle will be central to her character arc. Has Portia truly grown from the Taggart disaster, or is her first instinct still to control the narrative through deception? Predicting the path forward, a soapy symphony. Based on narrative conventions and character history, we can project the likely trajectory of this explosive storyline. 1. The DNA test will be central. The only way to resolve the mystery is a prenatal paternity test. The drama will revolve around the lead-up to the test, the clandestine gathering of samples, a toothbrush from Curtis, a coffee cup from Isaiah, the agonizing wait for results, and the moment of truth. 2. Isaiah is the most likely father. From a storytelling perspective, this creates the maximum drama. It would be the final, unforgivable blow to Portia and Curtis's marriage, allowing for a clean, if painful, divorce. It would free Curtis to explore a future with Jordan, a pairing for which there is significant audience investment. It would also force Portia and Isaiah into a high-stakes relationship from which there is no easy exit, creating a new core family unit to explore. 3. A rocky co-parenting journey. If Curtis is the father, the path is fraught with difficulty. They would be tied together for life, forcing them to navigate co-parenting amidst the ashes of their trust and love. This could lead to years of compelling, tense storytelling. 4. Trina's crucible. Trina will be caught in the middle, forced to mature rapidly. She may initially side with her hurt father, creating a rift with her mother. Her role may evolve into that of a peacemaker or, conversely, a vocal critic of her mother's choices. 5. Thematic resonance. This storyline is a classic General Hospital trope, the paternity mystery, elevated by the history of its characters. It explores themes of trust, forgiveness, consequence, and the definition of family. It asks, is a child's father the biological contributor, or the man who chooses to love and raise them? Can a person's past mistakes forever poison their future? A baptism of fire. Portia Robinson's pregnancy is not a blessing, it is a baptism by fire. It will burn away the remnants of her old life with Curtis, forcing every character involved to be reborn into a new, more complicated reality. The encouraging words she might have hoped for from a partner are drowned out by the angry threats of a betrayed husband and the terrifying silence of an uncertain future. This is the kind of deep, character-driven drama that is the lifeblood of an enduring soap opera, promising months of heart-wrenching, captivating television for the fans of General Hospital. The test is positive, but the future is a question mark, and in Port Charles, that is where the best stories are born.